Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to another video for you guys today. We're here previewing Chelsea versus Aston Villa in the League Cup, one of the highest anticipated matches in the last 10 years at Chelsea Football Club. We're going to delve into everything regarding the match. We're going to talk about all surrounding Marcus Alonso as well, because that'll be a very fun discussion as well. And then we'll just go through whatever other questions that you guys might have in the panel and in the comment section as well. But big up everyone that's locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button. Like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't done so already. And don't forget, the lottery is still going on. So any donation, whatever price it may be, will get you guys in with a chance of winning this beautiful Chelsea home kit. So get involved. And as always, smash the like and subscribe button. I think we just hit 24K as well. So big up and congratulations and thanks to every one of you guys who have subscribed as well. And now the road to 25K actually starts. So guys, again, if you haven't done so already, hit that button and let's get into it. Josh, what are you telling me? Last 24 hours, how's everything been, bro?
Yeah, man, it's been good. Just excited about the game tomorrow. Get to see some maybe some guys, some players on the fringe who won't get as many minutes this year, get a chance to play. Probably get to see the return of Sal, see how he's done after a couple of weeks of training and getting in the mix, and of course the big man. I think the big man will be back, Mr. RLC, back running around.
Yes, like 2019 again. Let's go.
Yes, man. So yeah, doing well. Looking forward to watching the game.
Nice, Wayne. What are you telling me, bro? How you been?
Yeah, been good. Got a fresh trim today. Got out of the house for a bit. Big up to you for the 24, well deserved, and deserve a lot more. So let's get to 25 soon as. And just a quick message for the commenters: if you don't want me on here, screw yourselves. Cause I'm going to be on here if you don't like me or not.
Yeah,
but having that, yeah, I'm good.
Big up yourself, Jesters. How you been, my guy? Everything good?
Besides work being an absolute nightmare right now, I always find solace in coming here and talking with my boys about the best football club in the world. And looking forward to tomorrow. I think we're going to see a lot of rotation tomorrow. I don't think I think Tuchel's looking for at Saturday and then not tomorrow at all. I mean, it'd be great if he. It's one of those things. It'd be great if you win, but if you don't, you make sure you win on Saturday. So
yeah, that's the only thing that gives me any sort of interest for this match. It's the fact that I will be seeing fringe players and players who haven't had an opportunity to show themselves in this match get an opportunity to potentially show why they should be playing more in the team for the rest of the season. But we will get into it. It'll be very interesting to see what lineup we end up leaving with for the Chelsea Aston Villa game. But Matt, as well, what are you telling me, bro? Last 24 hours, how's everything been?
Yeah, man, it's been alright. I'm excited, like these boys here, ready for the game tomorrow. Obviously, I think this is a very, very big game in the sense of our secondary players getting a shot and them, having to prove themselves to Tuchel that, they're worth a spot in the team. So I feel like it's a very important game in that such. But, if we win, we win. If we lose, we're out. Doesn't really matter. Again, Saturday's a bigger game in my opinion. And yeah, big discussion about Alonso today as well.
Yeah, damn right. What was it? Redneck, I see you in here as well. I sent you the link already, bro, so just hop in whenever. Fata, what are you telling me, G? You good?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Just enjoying life, being a post-grad student at the moment. But yeah, apart from that, there's a bit of news of Christensen extending his contract. And secondly, today I've heard so many complaints from the lots of Chelsea fans that missed out the Brentford tickets apparently. And it's very, it's just one of those things again, man. But
Brentford have a small allocation anyway, so it was always going to be tight trying to get tickets there. I think it's 2.3K or something like that.
1.675-ish.
1.6?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. We've got another Brentford. I mean, not Brentford, Bournemouth. Fuck's sake, bruv. We get rid of one team with shit allocation and another one comes up. Can't be arsed. Okay, now I understand why I struggled to get tickets, because I thought it was like 2.3, 2.4K or something like that. If it's 1.6, nah, no chance. No wonder I went out the first match. Mo, what are you telling me, man? You managed to get a ticket at least. If he's here. Nope.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, there he is. There he is. Yes, bro. What are you telling me?
How you all do, my people? You all good?
Yeah,
good,
we're
man.
good. Did you manage to get a Brentford ticket?
Bro, nah, man. Application unsuccessful on this one, man. It's mad.
Trust me,
As
man,
soon
we're
as I
all
saw that, I
starving.
was like, how small must this allocation be? And when I found out, bro, I was like, yo, okay, I understand, man. There's no, I can't even be upset.
Yeah, 1.6k is a fuckery. I might have to start dropping Brentford agenda, and I now need them to go down because that's just horrendous. Get me
Yeah, man.
Who can we get up, or somebody, or Swansea or some shit like that? Someone who can actually do 3k allocation, or get Fulham up again. Just want them to stop being a yo-yo club so we can have a semi-decent London derby. But we moved.
I didn't realize like how small the stadium actually, because it's a new stadium. I just assumed, because I've been to like a Brentford game before, but at their older stadium. So my mindset was like, damn, the newer stadium must be actually bigger in terms of what it can allow. And I'm like, damn, like when I saw the numbers, I was like actually quite shocked, because I'm like, this is a pretty damn new stadium. Like the fact that they just still chose to do it this small is quite surprising. But at the same time, I'm like, I guess the club is still in that growth phase, and obviously they don't want to necessarily make or build a stadium that they can't fill in themselves. So it makes sense. Like I can't really
Sounds
blame
like
them. But
pussies,
obviously
to be
for
honest.
us away fans, it sucks.
Yeah, you don't want to be like Spurs and build a giant stadium that you can't fill with fans.
Yeah, but I trust Brentford to do it more than I trust Tottenham. Oscar in the comment section as well, my G. I hope you enjoyed the event yesterday too. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've forgotten it, so it obviously wasn't that important. So we'll just move swiftly on. Chelsea versus Aston Villa. We'll get into the preview first before we start talking about the Alonso topic and everything like that. So, what fringe players do you guys expect to see starting? Like we said, Ruben Loftus-Cheek as a start. I think he'll be playing in this sort of match. Potentially, I think you might see Ross Barkley get some minutes in this game too, especially with the fact that Villa was his last team on loan. Maybe
Agreed.
Malang Sarr as well.
Yep. Matt's favorite player.
Than that,
No, not my favorite player. He's starting.
Sure. Kepa could potentially get a second. No, he is going to get a second start.
Yeah, he's
Kepa's
going to start.
Maybe Trevor Chalobah. I'm not sure. Is there any other names I'm missing?
Yeah.
I got
Chilwell. Yeah.
I got one. Xavier Mbiyamba.
Okay.
Oh, I was waiting for you to say Cho. Oh, yeah. Mbiyamba.
No,
He
I
played
think
in
Cho
the
was
23s,
to be honest.
No.
Cho probably starts at right wing back. Or
No, I don't want Mbemba playing.
Forward, okay. Yeah.
I can't lie. I
Because
want to see him
he's
play.
been awful this season so far. I've watched him every game. He's been so poor. The reason why we lost 6-1 to Arsenal on the weekend was because of him. He was so
with the
poor.
first team though.
He was training with the first team, but he's been playing every game for under 23s, and he's been poor.
Yeah,
Absolutely poor.
It's hard to judge a guy on the U23 team. I mean, I think if he gets a chance to play at a higher level, you'll see a higher level out of him.
Yeah,
maybe you might be right, but I'm just saying from what I've seen, he's been poor.
well, we'll see. I just thought he's been training with the first team. There's got to be a reason he's training with the first team.
Wait, it was 10-man Arsenal. Oh my!
Yeah,
God.
they got sent out. Listen, it was 35 minutes. 35 minutes they played got sent off, and we lost 6-1. Do you know what the score was when they got sent off? 3-0 to Arsenal. We conceded 3 more goals and scored in the last minute of added time on the second half. That's how shit we was.
The academy players need to be punished.
I don't care about
haven't cleaned the dressing room of the first team for the next month for disgracing my name like that.
I can't lie.
They're all going to get sold anyway, so what do we care?
I don't know about you,
yeah.
But when I saw
from into loan army, then fuck it, just get rid.
When I saw that scoreline, guys, I can't lie in it. As soon as I saw it, I said, "Cool, cancel the under 20 with 3s, bro. I don't want to know about this bullshit. 6 goals in one game. Who the hell are we kidding, guys? Against
I don't want to hear no
as
academy prop for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Not till we bring someone semi-decent in. Fuck that.
Absolute madness, bro.
Yeah. So you think Cho gets left forward? I think that makes sense.
If Pulisic is not fit, I don't see who else you play there because unless you start Mount, I mean he's
What
been
about
playing kind of a backup quality.
I think Mount
Yeah.
does need to play again to just get that full 90, maybe get him back into his
Nah.
form, as well as Werner as well needs to
You
start.
could see
And
Nah,
possibly
I
Chelsea
hear what
Ziyech
you're
makes
saying.
sense, right?
Yeah,
But-
it does.
I hear what you're saying about Mason Mount, but for me, it's like my thing is that he's been burnt out this season. So with that in mind, I don't want to play him in a pointless cup
Well,
match.
I don't think he's burnt out as such. I mean, I would rather him play this game and then maybe rest him for City, and then maybe, depending on tactics, maybe he can rest that game. But if it is burnout, I mean, I personally don't think it's burnout, so I think he should be starting against Villa.
And maybe it's more hype than actual substance. Have you ever just thought about that? I mean, I've brought up numbers before, and Prime sent me something that said that in 79 games, he's only had 3 open play assists.
I get that, but like you also have to look at the attackers that we had last season. Our conversion rate.
I
was
don't care. I
Should
don't
have
care.
a name
The other people have done better.
Lewis Baker.
Well,
Yeah,
so
Lewis Baker
how
can
many
play.
open play assists is that compared to the rest of the squad then?
I would.
If
have
you
to go
don't have
back
the
and-
numbs, you don't have the numbers in it.
I don't have the numbers in front
That's
of me.
what I'd want to
And
do. I'd want to compare it.
I
Let's be
can't
honest,
verify
though.
that, but 3 open play assists in 79 games, and we're talking about him in the likes of in the pantheons of greats already. I think we need to slow the roll here.
But that I agree with. We don't need to put him up with those names. But I wouldn't say he's been poor the last year and a half as a result of that. I just think our forwards have been poor in general.
No,
Yeah,
all I'm
You've got
saying
to
is more,
contextualize it.
I think
Yeah.
it's more hype than substance. It's
Mm.
based on hype. So if you eat a bunch of bad food and one of the plates is better than the rest, you say that's the best plate you ate. But it doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah,
But this is the same
I
sense
see
as Werner
that.
too, though.
But that doesn't surprise me. Werner's had the most assists in a single season since Cesc Fabregas in 2015.
Can we
other
talk
than the
about this,
Hazard
guys?
season. Pulisic, I'll get to you. Pulisic has had the most goals and assists since joining Chelsea out of all of our forwards. So both of those stats don't really surprise me too much. Go on, Mo. What are you saying?
No, so the thing is, right, when we do talk about this topic, I do feel like sometimes we concentrate so much on like the fact that players are not delivering on numbers or doing the things that they need to be doing. But have we ever actually discussed why this happens and what the actual constant is? Because personally for me, it's Pulisic, like you just said, Werner and Havertz. When you look at when they assist, what is the common theme that you see? They get their heads up, they put it into a dangerous place, and they usually get it directly to the player that they want it to, right? The other players, for me, the issue I see with them is they honestly, a lot of them, they're glory hunters. Like they are trying to get goals for themselves. They're trying to be the person that looks good. Second thing I've seen an issue with, they delay the damn pass for far too long. And I'm sorry, but that's a common theme of us. And third of all, if it's not about delaying the pass, they just hope for the best, inshallah, and just cross into the box. Either way, for me, it's frustrating. Like, I don't like it. But to me, those players in particular, I'm like, are the same type of suspects that I see. So I'm like, we need to put them aside and we need to have a frank conversation with them, and they need to do that on the training pitch. Because forget about doing it on the football pitch. If you're not doing this stuff on the training pitch, for me, you're going to have the same issue every time you get into a game. You can't be making a wrong pass or delaying a pass, in my eyes, during a game when the situation presents itself, because it's punishing our team continuously. I mean, point number one, Mason Mount in that Spurs game, this is the thing. I give him credit when it's true, but when it needs to be said, I'll say it how it is. He got the ball, ran with the ball. He's got Kai Havertz to one side. He's got Lukaku to one side. So he has 2 players to pick out from, and there's 2 Spurs players ahead of him. The only thing he needs to do is whoever he passes to, make sure that it's in front of them for them to shoot. What does he do? Passes it to Lukaku, that is forced to give it back to him, because the reality of it is they know he's left-footed. They're always going to try and push.
Ryan, don't do this to yourself.
Unfortunately for me, even when it comes to Kai Havertz, I generally don't think Mason Mount even saw him. and he went for the person that was actually envisioned to him. And that's another issue for me, is these players, I want to say that they can't be taught. I think it can be taught, but they're not either being pulled on it or they're being allowed to make continuously these mistakes. And we as fans keep slandering players like Pulisic and Werner and these guys. Honestly, when you put them in the same places that some of these other players that are suspects, I generally do think they assist a lot better. And you just have to look at when they assist, exactly why their assists work and why other ones don't.
Well said.
Can I chip in on that?
Sure.
Because yesterday I was so bored. Like, I wasn't bored. I just couldn't sleep. I watched the Liverpool game over. I watched the Aston Villa game over, and I watched the Tottenham game over. And we get these break. It's not even, I guess it's turnover and transitions where we get like a 3-on-2, and we have chances to make clinical passes. It's breaking down far too much. There's great opportunities to happen, and it's just not Mason Mount. I've seen Mason Mount, I've seen Havertz, I even seen Conte, which we don't expect, or even Kovacic make those bad decisions. So I don't know if we need to do like situational training where we get like those 3-on-2s. I don't know if you guys ever did that drill, and where it's like attacking 3-on-2 and then you try to score. But I don't know if it's that, or I don't know if it's like getting used. I mean, I feel like we should be used to each other by now, but maybe that solid 3. But it's something I feel like we have to fix, because we've got those good chances, at least to kill the game off early too. That Liverpool game could have been 2-3-0 if we made the right decision.
And I think some of it's instinctual too, Javi. It's like certain guys, just if you're not an attacker by nature, you don't have that instinct to pick your head up, find the pass. Like, I think that's where some of the issues are coming from with Mount. Like, again, he's a fantastic player in the midfield. He does a lot of the dirty work, but he's not an attacker. So instinctually, he's not looking for passes early. His head's not up. Guys like Werner and Pulisic, these guys are attacking players, so it's in their nature to look for a ball, to get into dangerous positions. Like it's there. This Mo number 2 put that stat up about Havertz with his dribbles and one pass created. Well, to me, a lot of that comes from he only has one attacking player in Lukaku that he's playing with. So there's only one guy really making runs, trying to get into dangerous spots. That other attacker so far this season hasn't been, whether it's Ziyech or Mount, they haven't been doing the work off the ball to get themselves in dangerous positions. And so I think when you see a guy like Werner come on and his movement is fantastic, it's opening space for everyone. Lukaku looks more dangerous now. Havertz looks more dangerous now. It's because you now have another attacking mindseted player who's looking to get himself in spaces to score goals and assists. I think if we see that more, you'll see a better game from a guy like Havertz going forward. You'll see it'll unlock his potential a bit more if he's playing with 2 attacking-minded players in that front 3. So hopefully we get a chance to see it at some point this season. But so far, that hasn't been the case when he's been playing with Mount and Lukaku.
And Havertz makes such good runs too. Oh my God, the runs he makes.
That's why he stayed on longer than Mount as well. He made better runs.
100%.
Play him.
You know what the thing is, guys? Like, one of the things that I was saying about Havertz, right? Yes, he's having sometimes games where he's actually not doing exactly what we want him to do in terms of like having errors in his games, right? I expect this with our players, guys. I don't know how else to put it to anybody else. I look the age of our players. I expect them to make errors. I expect them to make mistakes. What I don't expect them to do is have habits that are continuously there. The reason why I say that is because those habits can be beaten out of them, but when they're the under age of 25, and it has to be coached out of them. The only way that it can be coached out of them is it needs to be pointed out, and the coach needs to actually make sure that if they continuously do it, you punish them by not actually allowing them to play. Because at the end of the day, some of these players, for me, they make the same mistakes. Mount, for example, in that Spurs game, and I believe, it was the Spurs game. There was a game where he literally kept on using his body, even in scenarios where he's being pressed by 3 guys. It doesn't make sense to me. You're not that physical guy. You're not going to win this battle, and you're doing it in our own half. Why does that make sense? Do you get what I mean? That's the type of stuff that for me, like it gets me the wrong way. Like yesterday, in terms of like not yesterday, sorry, on Sunday, in terms of what Havertz did that I was still okay with, and why I was saying it's not Havertz that needs to go off, it's Mount, and I need N'Golo Kante come on. The changes I called is exactly what changed our game for us. Why I said it was so simple. What Mount was doing for us in terms of being in midfield, I'm like, N'Golo Kante can do it, and N'Golo Kante will win you the ball and make himself available game and run forward. And guess what? Somehow he's more physically prepared for battles than Mount is. And the fact of the matter is, I am not out here saying to Mount he can't improve this. He can. But he has to be smart with it. You pick your battles correctly and you make sure you don't actually compromise your team. That's what it really comes down to. And when it comes down to this attacking side of the game,
Can you see me?
speaking, a lot of these players,
Yes,
like
bro.
the habit that I see with Havertz that is quite constant sometimes, is sometimes he will get a chance where the player is close to him and he just needs to make like a small little pass. And for some reason, he makes it smaller than it actually needs to be. So it doesn't put enough intensity behind it. So it compromises the player receiving the ball. Stuff like that, to me, I'm not as like harsh on, but I do notice it. So I will criticize him for it. But at the end of the day, his overall gameplay in terms of how useful he is to our formation and system, to me, the difference is light and day, bro. Like you can actually see that shit. And it's
Wait, Havertz.
Say that again.
Yo, your mic,
Cassie,
Kazzy.
man, your mic is
Crazy.
fuck.
Yo,
Kaz.
Kaz,
Say that again?
fix that mic, bro. That mic is in the tunnel, bro.
Jesus.
But yeah, that's my opinion on the situation. In order for it to improve, I do feel like some of these players just need to really look at them. Like, even to be honest, as much as I'm saying the coach, some of these players need to recognize some of these things themselves. Because at the end of the day, you're going to frustrate your teammates if you're not pulling your weight and doing exactly what's expected of you.
Yeah.
Mohammed, you a preacher, bro?
I will touch upon that as well. I feel like we've been lacking creativity as well ever since Aston Villa came. Something doesn't add up for me.
Yo, is it fine now?
Yeah.
No.
I was going to say...
No.
Oh.
Hold on, Kazi. I feel like in the first half, I think we caught up in that midfield area because we're pressing.
Yeah, that might sound hella robotic.
Yeah, that might sound.
I was going to say,
Jesus.
Kazi, you're done. But I was going to say, I feel like the Mount criticism on the Spurs game, I think it's justified because I feel like in that game alone, Lukaku was too isolated at times, and the link up in that final three between Lukaku doesn't gel much, I feel. But when Werner came on that second half, somehow they kind of connected with each other. So I wouldn't be surprised.
But again, sorry, I just want to add on as well to the point when we say Mount, doesn't get the assists and, doesn't get this. But again, we got to take the fact that he's not an attacking player. Same with Werner. Werner doesn't score goals because he's not a striker. He's more of, of a midfielding creating player. So I think with Mount, he's still got the most created chances last season as well. So I think when we play him in that midfield, we're going to see much more of Mount rather than him in that Werner role. That's why I think Werner is better than Mount in that position. But I think Mount overall is a better player if he plays in his number 8 position, like his natural position.
That's facts. But I need to know what metric they do that created chances from. Like, honestly, what?
No, it's not XP. No, not X. Whatever, not an X rubbish thing. I'm saying that the most chances created.
No, I get how. But I'm asking the question: what do they rate as chances created? I really want to know.
Any corner
play up to a goal
that gets into the box. It didn't hit the first man. So that's why Mount got a lot of them, because he used to be on corners.
I just scored. Like, for me, I get
I think James was doing the corners.
The Mount. I get the Mount criticism, and I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. But
dude, your microphone.
Kazi, you sound like robotic, man. Still.
How?
Talk.
Kazi, that's much better. That's much better.
Wait. Let Kazi talk. Go on, speak.
Yo, is it fine?
It's good enough. Yeah, go for it.
It's good. What I'm saying about I get what's called about criticism, and I understand that, but I feel like Havertz has a major part to blame in that, man. Some of the things that he does in terms of losing the ball in certain places, like misplacing passes. Over the last few games, he has been poor, or just as poor as Mason Mount. Just as poor, like Mason scored. Like for me,
Yeah, I
for
do
me,
agree, to be honest. But I
for
feel like
me,
at the very least, he has better
against Arsenal,
reasons.
against if you're talking about overall game in terms of the attacking game, linking up play, and what's called touches on the ball, fine, I get that. But if we're talking about what's called like actually doing something, I remember the Aston game. People talk about Mount's decision making. His decision making was just as bad. The times against the Arsenal game was called. Just that you can keep shaking your head, man. Like, bro, like.
No, it's your audio, bro.
Yeah, I can't lie.
It sounds like somebody's speeding up the time on like a video.
Like it just cuts in and out a lot while you're talking.
No, it's just like you're coming live from that chick on your thumbnail's bum or something, you know. I'm not shaking my head because of what you're saying. I'm shaking my head because your audio is so bad.
Is it cutting like what's called? Like, is it?
It's just like whenever you
explain it
in between like every syllable or some shit.
Just choppy. It's choppy.
Alright, cool. What was cool? You can hear what I'm saying, though.
Kind of.
Yeah, no, like I don't disagree with what Kazi like. Havertz hasn't been great. He's had some misplaced passes. I put that down to he's only playing with one attack-minded player up top in Lukaku. Like Mount's he's not giving him much to work with off the ball. Like I feel like I don't think it's any coincidence that when Timo came on, there's better play up there because Timo is attacking minded and he knows where to be in space in the box. He knows how to make runs. He knows how to create space for Lukaku, how to play balls back into attackers. Havertz's game got better when he came on because there's so much more going on.
Wait, Havertz didn't
play together.
What did they play together? Havertz
came off for Werner.
It was Werner and Lukaku, my guy.
And who was the other attacker then? Wasn't it Havertz,
There was only
Timo,
two.
and Rom?
He played a 5-3-2 in the second half.
Yeah, played a 5-3-2. There's only two attackers.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, what Kante came on for.
Even when Kante came on,
fair enough.
For me, Havertz was good only. He wasn't like I could see something better. In terms of what's good, he got way more of the ball in the second half because obviously Kante came and controlled the game.
Yo, guys. Is he not cutting out for you? Because he's cutting out like hell.
Yeah. Kazi, leave and come back. Leave and come back.
Let me leave and come back, man.
All right.
So I'm on board. If you blame Mount for how he plays, you should blame on Havertz too.
To an extent.
I don't think anybody disagrees with that. I just
no.
I don't like when people say
actually if you think about it, Kai Havertz should find Lukaku better than Mount should find Lukaku.
100%.
Just because Havertz, since everybody's saying he's better suited to play, why he's actually not making those improvements when he has the ball? So technically, if, like we're saying, if Mount is playing out of position, he should be less criticized as Havertz, who is playing in position and does not create chances for the striker, like logically.
Yeah, but you need that.
I am putting them on the same bracket as the both.
You need that other attacker to help create space for Lukaku, because if Lukaku's just up there by himself and he's on an island, it makes things much tougher.
I understand what you're saying. If we counterattacking, if we're in the possession, you're not creating chances on the both sides, because if you look at the game, you do not attack on the both sides wide all the time. For one reason, if you get cut with two players up the field, not versus one. So when you're attacking, the one player stays back. It's the law, because you don't want to get cut without the ball if the ball gets back to the other field. So you cannot interact with those only when you do in a counter-attacking style. So I don't see what you say. I can't understand how Mount and Havertz should be open up spaces for each other only when we're counter-attacking. You know what I'm saying? Because we're playing on different sizes.
What I see a lot in these games too is Mount, like equally as Brahim, Havertz has been bad as Mount. But what I see in these games is just like Mount is the one dropping deeper and Havertz is the one normally making the runs in behind all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the thing we need to sort out there and how the interchange of play. And it's also like, I guess it's the start of the season too. So I believe those crinks and like we iron them out as the season goes along. And hopefully, yeah. Do you think like we need to just, I mean, I guess, but establish like a concrete front three? But I don't know.
I think it's a game-by-game basis because English Premier League is so tough to predict how we expected Villa to play back. All of a sudden, they are in the throats. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a physical game at the same time. You can't put Cho on a certain games because he will get raped, literally raped by some wingers.
The guys in the comments are making a great point. We are forgetting these guys are very young too.
Yeah.
Look,
I don't think we're forgetting that.
Can I say this, guys? Yeah, can you hear me now? Is it fine? Or is it still kind of...
Hey, you're about to say, but you go ahead.
What's it called? Even though it's gonna just hope you understand this. Yeah, for me.
Yeah, this is bad.
Like you ever have vision or not, man?
Yo, Kazi.
Say that. Yeah, I can hear,
bro.
I mean, can't understand him.
I can understand it.
Yeah, I can understand him. It's alright. It's fine. It's enough.
No, that's bad.
Bro, it's bad, man.
You gotta think of people that actually watching and listening on the other devices.
Yeah, no, now it's just sped up like mad.
Yeah.
He's got bandwidth issues.
I think he's on the wireless headphones.
No, it's bandwidth from his internet.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Is that just at my Wi-Fi?
Or maybe the girl he has on it doesn't want to work.
So look, the only thing I could say about this is if one of Havertz, Ziyech, and Mount needs to play with one of Pulisic or Werner, because you got to have.
Sorry, Chester. Sorry. A big up Rokar saying Thiago Silva, what a legend of the game. Kissed the badge after scoring. Surely he's the best defender in the league and the Chelsea cult hero. And big up Declared saying Kazi's mic is worth less than this super chat. Nah,
oh, dear Lord.
Big up yourself because you got yourself in with a chance of winning.
Declared, bro. Allow it.
Like we said, any donation, any amount, and you're in with a chance of winning this beautiful kit of your European champions and soon to be your world champions and Premier League champions. So check it out, get involved. We are doing the thing on the 12th of October, although to be honest, I might move it a bit earlier as well because there will be more giveaways on the channel after this too. This won't be the only giveaway. We're going to be doing the third kit next straight afterwards, so that's coming very soon too. So check that one out as well. But yeah, sorry, Jesters, what were you saying? I did interrupt you.
So to finish that point is you have to have an attack-minded player that is one's more direct, one open space with the runs, and that will allow more space for Mount, Ziyech, or Havertz to create because defenders have to account for those players. Right now, when you have two similar players on the pitch, Havertz will make runs, but that's when he gets closer to the box. He's not making as many runs from the midfield. He's not going to be a threat to get in behind as much as a Werner or Pulisic can. So for me, you have to balance the team out. You have to have one creative player with an attacking threat along with Lukaku. And until you do that, you won't see the best out of those types of players because they're occupying some of the same space. They're not driving defenders off, which means there's less space for them to work in. It's hard. You have to make quicker decisions, and the windows to pass the ball in are going to be more narrow than they would be if you had somebody dragging defenders out of place. So for me, that's the one thing I could say we could do different that might get the best out of the players we've been speaking about. But I don't like saying this player was bad. Well, how about that play? I can't stand that. If you're bringing up that player A was bad, but so was because of player B, or player B was bad because of player A, that's just deflecting criticism. Okay, if you were bad, you were bad, and you can talk about it individually. But I don't like saying, well, Mount was bad. Well, so was Havertz. Okay, well, what does that mean? Does that
mean
give
they're
any?
both going
Does
bad?
that give either one a pass
No,
for being bad? It doesn't.
No.
It's just they're both bad. So
That's Johnny. That's Johnny saying, man. That's just Johnny saying, man.
And I was gonna reflect on the Jester's comment. I agree with you to a certain point, but we haven't had that player yet. So it's kind of like it's kind of a wish thing. We don't know how Pulisic is gonna play with Lukaku. I just don't know. So with Timo Werner, I had a glimpse of it for a couple of times that he went as a sub. So I kind of have idea, and it looked good for me. My problem is if we seeing it, how come Tuchel doesn't? Is he has something that we don't know?
Wait, you talking about Pulisic starting with Lukaku?
Pulisic no, he's talking about Werner.
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 Werner's with Lukaku. You see what I'm saying? I know why Kai Havertz always play with Lukaku, and I will think he will drop Mount way before he drops Kai.
Probably.
I think we start to see Kai Havertz. I think he's gonna. That's just my opinion. Don't shoot. I don't care about social media anyway. But
What are you gonna say? Don't shoot me. I was gonna be like, bro. There's only one guy in this chat with a gun, bro. It ain't none of us.
That's not the only. I mean, that's not
the American.
Yeah, right,
oh yes,
all the Americans
as well. Forget. My bad.
And I'm from South Carolina, baby. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I think Kai Havertz, for me personally, is going to be one of the greatest that Chelsea ever had. The guy, I see the signs in it that. Man, the guy.
Jinxed it.
No.
Look, he was here before, but his statement is totally wrong.
Come on, Johnny.
Bro, who's gonna do
everybody because he wasn't playing.
Man wasn't taken off because he was poor, but for a defensive change to help our midfield as it was getting overrun, and only Kai could play in a 2 up top striker setup. While Kante helps the midfield.
The silly man.
Johnny, come on,
silly man.
If the brother's thing that we speak about a lot of the time is his defensive contributions as well as his work rate, and he didn't do that job properly, then what does that say, bro? Come on, man. Like he had a bad 45 minutes, but you can say that and still move it, bro. Like we're not saying Mount is shit out here, man. The fact of the matter is sometimes just stop being. You can, Kazi, that's fine. Look, stop being overprotective over some of these players. It's okay to be critical of them sometimes and say you want better from them, but just be respectful with it. Be objective with it, and that's totally fine, man. Like the fact of the matter is, he got taken off. The team played better as a result because Kante was doing the job that was needed in that midfield to come into a 3, but also moving the ball forward. Like we needed the ball to be moved forward and actually do it in a manner where you are not losing the ball unnecessarily.
Well, that's not even that. Tuchel actually said it without saying his name in the post-conference, post-match conference. He actually said why Mount came off. So, and it wasn't because of tactics.
Yeah, what do you expect him to say? Like, Mount was.
Yeah, exactly. He's not gonna say it was shit.
He's not gonna say shit. You know what I'm saying? So
maybe Mourinho just needs to rest.
Yeah, Mourinho. Yeah, Mourinho would say that.
Called him shit, man. I would have called him shit.
Can we? I'm gonna ask a question. Can we just keep talking about him?
Just know.
Yeah, we never finished our lineup actually. We just got distracted for half an hour.
When you say that players are shit, and then the next week you're saying they're great, just know how it makes you look like an Arsenal fan, innit? But that's what I'm gonna say, innit?
He has been shit though.
We say
no.
Sorry, guys. Can we just stop talking about it?
Yeah, no, I agree with Wayne. Yeah, we spoke about it for an hour yesterday. I think. Let's just.
I say has.
Because I'm going to lose my plot. Because I'm be honest, I'm getting pissed off with talking about it because he was shit. And that's full stop of it. He was taken off half time. If he wasn't shit, he wouldn't have been taken off for half time. It would have been someone else. Full stop. I don't want any arguments. I don't want Johnny coming in starting arguments. I don't want anyone getting upset. I just want to move on and talk about the rest of the shit.
So I take it we don't want to discuss what Mason Mount's best position is, and if it's
no. We said it yesterday.
I would love that comment, man. That comment was gonna be amazing. I would love that, man. These guys.
I heard Tuchel's experimenting with 2 different positions for him. Held back on the bench and guard
I
the
say we
water
discuss
bucket.
whether Mason Mount can play in Klasref's false 8 position.
Let's
we can
also
go
yo, Lewis, pull up that Go AM comment, bro. That
Hey, go ahead, man.
Go ahead and go.
Johnny has a point. Think the weather changed slightly in the set. Oh, for fuck's sake! Thomas Tuchel made the change because of climate considerations, not because of his performance. Maybe I'm just slow in everything, but the weather reference is completely lost on me. But
No,
we were playing yesterday. And,
why do these jokes always go over my head? I can't be asked.
Yo.
He's deep. He's
You
deep.
lot got it. You lot got entertained with it.
Go AM is deep.
Big up Go AM as always.
We're
Reggie
supposed
Fort
to
says
be
go read up on
playing-
Tuchel. He's a
play-
ruthless perfectionist. Werner frustrates him. Bad touches, offsides, missed sitters, fumbled link-ups. He doesn't like it. For me, I think Werner as a super sub is a great option for us anyway.
Yeah,
I like Werner
I love
against
him.
fresh legs. It's a great
Yeah,
option
he's
for us
amazing,
right now
man.
anyway.
The way
I
how
don't
he
want to
comes
take
and
him out of it.
runs.
Yeah, but maybe he's being held back in that role because Pulisic's not fit, and that's usually a super sub. So if he's not a super sub, then he's ready to go.
Shamelessly.
That was bad. Made me laugh.
Specifically for you.
Yeah, I wanted to say it.
Right now, we will go on to the next topic. What is our
Good.
lineup? Because
Yes, let's go. Let's please do
We
this.
never finished. Yeah, wingbacks. We're up to wingbacks, I think.
right,
No,
so
I
we
thought
said
we were
Kepa.
Kepa. And I
Who's the
think
back three?
I got because I forgot about Lewis Baker. I think it's gonna be Sarr, Lewis Baker, and Chalobah.
No,
That's what
Yeah,
I
that
think
makes
as well.
sense. That makes sense to me.
Fucking hell, that's
There is
I'll-
no
I-
way.
I would pop Christensen in there, to
Say
be
that
honest.
midfield again.
No, the back three:
Oh, the back three. Go ahead.
Sarr, Baker, and Chalobah.
No, I'm fighting someone. There's no. Surely we're not allowing this.
No, come on, man. We got to put 18
Sar's a
down.
definite start.
Somebody,
Christensen,
somebody has
Chalobah.
to be.
I think Christensen has to come in.
Just quit on this. I mean, there's no reason I even highlighted him. We've moved on to something else.
Lewis
I'm
Fleming enough.
just reading it. Just reading it. That's all. Nothing else to it.
And I'm
yeah.
saying that because our best back three needs to be ready for Saturday, and I don't want anybody to pick up an injury.
Yeah, but we
because
can
of Super
put
Carabao
Christensen.
Cup.
This is
I
the
think
League
we
Cup,
play
guys.
Stupid Carabao
He
Cup.
needs
It's a
it.
cup.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it doesn't. What we want to accomplish in winning the league and winning the Champions League again, the Carabao Cup means nothing. That's for Arsenal. That's for Tottenham. That's for Brentford. That's for Aston Villa. That's not for Chelsea Football Club.
It is.
The thing is, we got to realise as well is
Nah,
Chelsea
this
Football
just has
Club
got a point
fights
because
for every title. Just
no,
so.
but
I
listen,
promise you.
the world,
Every cup.
the World Cup of the World Cup,
The Club World Cup.
that will be on the same time as a Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
So if we want a Carabao Cup, we've got to play second lot squad near later on in the competition. So I'd rather rest them now than do that and then just put them all out in the pressure on semi-finals or whatever.
Yeah, do you remember when Liverpool had to play Aston Villa like 2 days before they went out for the cup?
That's
fuck it. I don't
that's
care.
what I'm saying. It's you have to pick and choose because we're in so many competitions. You have to pick and choose, even with a deep lineup, because I fully expect the same lineup that played with maybe a couple of differences that played against Tottenham to play against Man City.
Change in the back, you're always gonna have to put somebody experienced.
So I thought Lewis
Nah,
Baker's a
nah,
midfielder.
I hear what you're saying,
Hey,
Alex.
yo, Matt,
but
he
nah,
is,
like,
but
I
you
don't
know,
care if it's inexperienced.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like
makes
this
it whatever
competition.
nowadays.
So,
But
yeah, I
I'd
think,
go Sarr, Chalobah, and who's the third player? Lewis Baker. Yeah, that's fine by me. I don't care. Right
I
wing
think
back.
that's a fine back three for the Carabao Cup.
I think it's going to be
Lewis
RJ.
James.
It's going to be RJ.
Yeah, three.
RJ right wing back. Yeah.
Chilwell left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Do you think he was gonna
Strong
let
wing
Sarr back,
backs at the very least.
Because he's not going to drop Alonso after that performance.
Yeah,
he's not
no.
going to drop Alonso.
Chilwell needs to get game time anyway, so this is the perfect opportunity for it.
So is it Barkley and Sal in the midfield then as the pairing?
Nah,
No,
Ruben.
Well, no,
I
I
want
would say
Ruben.
Streak and so.
Ruben, I think Ruben will play more advanced. He'll play up closer to the. He'll be in that front three, I think.
No,
I think
because
they'll
Ruben's
rotate
always
him.
the driver at best. You get the ball and you let him progress the ball forward.
But see, here's the thing. I think it'll be Saul with one of Jorginho, Conte, or Kovacic, but
I'm
they'll
saying
only play a
Conte.
half. And
Yep,
then they'll
yep.
Maybe
exactly.
Conte
Yeah.
for some minutes on his legs.
I said
No,
Conte
I don't
starts
want
for
Conte,
45
you know,
minutes.
Come
I
as
would
a
say
sub if he will come.
I just think that what they'll do in the midfield is, because if you play an inexperienced back line, at least you can have, again, experienced wing backs and an experienced pivot in front of them. So I think it'll be Saul, and then the other one will only play 45 minutes. And then at halftime, they'll rotate them out. So they'll only have 45 minutes on their legs.
And I think it should be Conte. Because Conte hasn't played, I think, getting ready for City.
I wouldn't put Conte because I don't want him injured.
I would say Conte for Saturday.
I would say
I wouldn't play any of that midfield three, to be honest. I'd put someone in there.
I think Conte needs to get a bit ready, and I don't think we should be in the mindset.
Barkley. I don't really care.
We're not forgetting about Callum. We'll get to Callum in a minute.
Yeah, we ain't playing Callum.
Is that a away game or home game? Can somebody?
Home game.
It's a home game.
Do we know what's happened to Mendy, guys?
Yeah, he got a boot.
match.
Yeah, he got the boot at the end of the game to the chest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm guessing he has bruised ribs or bruised sternum or something like that.
Are we saying he's back for the City game, or are we saying that
we don't know?
You said he may be ready.
He said he hopes to have him back for City, but
I hope so.
It's sort of like how much pain can he tolerate type of thing.
Because I think he has a bruised sternum or or some bruised ribs.
Yeah.
Can we also talk about, like, I guess you guys must have done it in the others, like streams and stuff, but that three at the back that started for us against Spurs, bruh, I knew we weren't going to concede. As crazy as that game was in that first half, honestly, I just knew, like, the way they were so in sync with each other. And Thiago, for me, bro, people might be saying he's 37, but I don't believe it, bro. I'm telling you right now, we need to check his passports.
I can say a couple of.
That's our best back three, by the way.
Yeah. And that back three should play against City as well. We need that for City too.
But
with it.
So if we're going to go to the front three, do we expect Werner to start? I expect Werner to start.
Villa?
Yeah. I do as well.
Get the low block. All right. Yeah.
I would
I
say
expect Ziyech to start, and I expect Callum to start.
Yeah.
What? Just no way.
Callum, you know, just so
He
Callum
could start,
start.
but I genuinely think Mount would start. To be honest, to be fair, I think Mount would start.
This is evolution.
No, look, it's a
fair
cup
point,
game,
yeah.
and if we're talking about playing
I
an
think
inexperienced
Mount will
back line,
start.
why not?
If Mount will start,
Cho will
I
come
will
on.
not start.
He might start in the pivot. He might start next to Saul.
No, not Saul.
maybe.
Not Saul.
No,
He
but
might- I'm
Can't
saying
you
if he
just
plays
play
tomorrow-
Premier League?
I don't want to see
Tomorrow,
nobody who's going to play for Man City start. Like they should all
if
be
that's
rested.
going to be the front
Well, who
three,
says
if it's going to be
Mount will
Ziyech, if it's going to be Ziyech, Cho, and Werner, then I would like to see Ruben and Sal in the pivot. And
Ruben and
Of
Sal.
course I'm gonna be there. I never miss a game, man. Come on. Allow
You
it.
too.
Nah, man. Nah,
So I don't want any of the Cho
He
fans
lives
to ever
from
come
Chelsea,
for my
he
neck
lives from
again.
Chelsea.
I just said he's going to start at left wing.
I think he'll come on early. To be fair, if he doesn't start, Cho will definitely have a game time then.
If Cho
Look,
doesn't
if you're
start this game,
Then there's absolutely an issue.
Then there's questions to be asked.
I would start Lewis
Dortmund,
Baker.
man. Again, a loan to Berlin, man. Next season, man. For a fact, man, that loan to Berlin is calling him. If he does not start this game, then I'll be worried for him, man. Like time is
Get
over.
me taking the piss, man.
wait,
Yeah,
you
but
saying
Aston Villa's not going to play a low block either. I'm sorry. This is a
especially when
cup
they see
game.
the
It's
lineup
not
that
a,
we
it's not
got.
a, it's not a league
They got
game.
United on the weekend as well, so they might have
this
to
will
be
be one of
cautious.
their.
when
This
they
will be
play
a. This will
forward.
be a strong team from Villa, and they'll press like they did in the Premier League against
It's
us.
not going to
If
have
they
a
see
show
Saul, if
background,
they see
don't
Saul
worry.
negative, if they see
Nah.
Saul negative, so if they see Saul negative, I feel like they'll start pressing. But if they don't, they won't score. I think we like.
If Cho
No, but-
scores a brace, you don't have to worry about Saturday's game because the world's going to end.
Oh, fuck you know. Right, so Ziyech, Cho, and Timo up top.
Yeah,
I think Timo, Ziyech, and Cho.
Timo the head.
I think Mount would still start, then Cho will come on very early, maybe 50,
Like I said,
60
Mount could
minutes.
play in the pivot with
Yeah.
Saul. And then you have Barkley and
I'll
RLC
start
off the
Saul for
bench.
tomorrow's game. I just want to get him into the feeling of playing in the league.
He's definitely starting. Saul's definitely starting. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Thing
Saul,
is,
100%.
He's either Barkley or
Aston
Shane won't be playing.
Aston Shane. Sorry, Wayne. Go on.
Because Barkley or Cheek won't be playing. If we're going by, it'd be up front of Bernard, Ziyech, and Hudson-Odoi. So I mean, going to be Barkley or Cheek won't be playing. And I don't know if that's going to be possible. I don't know. I think both of them will end up playing. I personally think Hudson-Odoi won't play.
Well, if he doesn't, then again, we need to have a serious conversation.
Is it 3 subs or 5? Because if it's 5 subs, he'll come on.
Berlin,
I'm not sure.
will be calling him after this game. I'm honest when I say this, man. This guy will be out on loan, like 90% confirmed.
He might be sold to Liverpool. In January.
Yeah, man. Enjoy life, man. Enjoy life January with Liverpool, man. You know what I mean? Enjoy life with discuss and stuff, man. Because if you can't start against Aston Villa in a Carabao Cup, man, it's FA Cup, Carabao. Like, bro, like leave. Carabao, whatever it's called, man.
I agree. That's why I'm saying he
Jeremy,
does
you
start.
waste me.
But
Sorry,
if he doesn't, then we actually have to have a conversation. Just like we said, if Werner didn't play in the last game, we would have to have a conversation. He came on and played well. So again, if Callum doesn't start this game, we need to have a serious conversation about what his future with this club is, because there's no reason for him not to.
No, I can't be asked. Fuck's sake! But go on, Justice. Sorry.
No, that's my whole point. If he doesn't start, we have to understand that he's got no future, because there's no reason that I can come to that he doesn't start this game.
Yeah, he has to start in his favoured position as well. That's the big thing for me. He needs to be in his favoured position.
Might slap him a bit, like, man. Just as a final. Because if he does that, he does not rate him, man.
Sorry, bro. We only caught like half of that still.
This is embarrassing now, man. This is embarrassing me right now, man. This is so demoralizing.
It's more
It's weird
embarrassing.
because it just got a lot clearer now.
Right,
Yeah, I can't lie. Your mic is moving more inconsistent than Tottenham, but it is what it is.
No, that's not. Again, it's not the mic. It's his bandwidth. That's
my Wi-Fi is good.
You need to get that fiber optic, my G.
When you're pixelated, when you're digitized like that, that means your bandwidth is being overused.
Big up Bilal, my G.
Sorry.
How many
I know
people
you guys
are here
watching
actually
from
from England?
You what?
How many people are actually on here from England? Like
the majority is from England, but there's people who watch from all over the world. And
no. I'm saying the panel.
The thing is me, Kazi, Mo,
Wayne and
Fata, and that's it.
I'm from Sweden, man.
Bro, I'm from everywhere. What do you mean? Everywhere and nowhere, bro.
It's where he's
I'm from Parts Unknown. There you go. That's a good wrestler. Parts Unknown.
That's not beyond, bro. Don't know about you, both good.
Josh, you look American. Are you American?
Me? Yeah, I live in Florida.
Oh, fuck, you have a dolphin on
you can just tell from his accent, bro.
Yeah, Josh has the biggest American accent.
New Zealand, Trinidad, Tobago, India, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
honestly.
Jester has the
Lewis.
I want to see the
Lewis, this one you think like, damn, bro. Like the fact that you're hearing this many different countries in the chat as well.
Trust me, it's ridiculous. But appreciate all the love from all over the world. Big up, you guys. South Africa, Ghana, Alabama, Florida,
Alabama,
man, I'm loving this.
Alabama, say hi to
Australia, Madagascar,
Barbados, Madagascar,
Barbados. All you guys, big up all you, man, all across the world.
Scotland.
Big up, man.
My favourite place, my home away from home, Holland. Big up yourself.
Yeah.
Man said Mars, Sweden,
Thailand.
There's always someone in it.
I even got Jupiter, bro.
There's two.
We're interstellar in that. Let's go. Come on.
We're the real Galacticos. There we go.
And go in.
Oh, fuck.
That is first class.
What?
Trinidad, big up
Oh my
everyone. All
God.
across the world, big up yourselves.
We got
Aye.
Sicily,
Go AM, man.
Italy,
That's how the
Go
world goes.
AM. That's
India.
funny, man. That's funny. Go AM. He
We
just
just
That's nice of
what
Johnny
you
to let the
probably
prisoners watch
regional.
the streams.
Yeah,
That's
Uh,
between torture
the
sessions.
guys in here because
and
there's
Tony
no
Martin.
TVs in this prison. But
Where's the Aston Villa players though?
well, oh, he didn't play against Villa, so we can't drop anyone in there. It is what it is.
Yep.
We'll
At least
get
it's
him next
consistent.
time. We'll get him next time. They're on the run for now. We'll get Danny.
Although
Ings.
he could, feasibly he could start tomorrow. And
Yeah, but they're gonna play their B team. I'm not putting B team players in. I probably
they
would.
already
Guys, have a
have
good
B
day.
team
Have
players.
a good
What are you
stream.
talking
I'm
about?
off. So big up.
Take
you,
care,
Wayne.
Wayne.
Watch
Wayne.
Watch Christensen starts tomorrow. I bet you.
I'm saying he'll
I'd
start.
hope not. I really would hope not.
I
Yo,
want him
guys.
to play on the weekend. Like I said, look, I think that with exception to maybe one of the forwards, I don't think that and maybe one of the midfielders, I don't think it's going to change much from the Tottenham game on next Saturday.
Yo,
Yeah, I
guys.
agree. I think
Yeah,
this is the
bro.
game where you can play around with your fringe guys and let them get some minutes, and hopefully you peg a win, which would be great. But yeah, you rest as many people as you can for the City game. We have so many fixtures coming up, and
Winner serve,
you just
Guys, his mic is from your anus.
God damn it. Let the brother live, guys. It's not his fault.
Doesn't even know what's happening. Hasn't caught up yet.
Anyway,
Right.
What are we-
I feel like now's a good time we can switch this on to. Oh, big up Daniel as well on the cup. Big up
Oh,
yourself.
can I make a point, bro? I forgot. I just remembered. So
Go for it.
He's from that yellow
you know
bus.
you know how people and rival fans and fans in general have been saying Chelsea have been unbearable with the Champions League win and all of that. I'm just telling them right now. Let's just make this official, guys. If we win the Champions League again, guys, you thought we were unbearable this summer. Oh my God! I'm telling you right now, Manchester United Football Club will be buried, guys. I'm telling you right now. I am coming straight for those guys. They're getting done over. And if we win the Premier League, guys, Jurgen Klopp, I am coming for you, bro. I'm telling you right now, man. Everybody's getting slated, bro.
No, Sonny. We gotta get Sonny.
Yeah, Sonny's first one.
No, I
That
don't care
man
about
talks
Sonny, bro.
more
Forget about
waffle
Sonny, man.
than the
No, but
Waffle
like I
House.
can't like going for Sonny is just like beating a kid. Like,
Bro,
come on.
What's wrong with beating a kid?
Class rep.
Now we just go show his
he's
receipts.
clearly
Getting
he
an argument
clearly
with
rides the
class rep.
special bus. Let's be
Bro,
honest.
I am telling you, the agendas.
No, because like it's deliberately bad take. So for me, it's like I can't even be asked.
No,
to
I
get
think
him.
that's actually what he believes. I don't think
He's-
it's a bad take. He believes that's what he says.
He doesn't
No,
believe
because
that.
he said
He's glad-
he said Tuchel got a mansion, and then he said our team was shit.
Because
Lance call off overrated, you know.
He doesn't believe that.
Yo,
he's
Winter,
2 beers short of a 6-pack.
you'd have to
Yeah,
buy.
the man, his team literally has 11 players, and that's it.
How
Said
you know I'm a
we're
defender?
not deep.
Yeah.
No. Pull up that comment for Kazi, bro, from Winter Surfer. Yeah.
So if we get back to back.
You're buying the premium one though, yeah. My brother has to be
Like
hooked up.
Jester said, it's not the mic.
It's not the mic, it's the Wi-Fi.
To buy me a new router or something.
He needs the wire.
Big up Frosted Myth as well, saying bit delayed, and I just want to know what went inside in Dombele's eye. Maybe dust of Nando's FC trophy cabinet. Probably. I mean, that's probably half the reason why it's stunk
Maybe
around
maybe
there.
it was some of the minerals that Mount was letting out.
Fucking hell, man. Right. Let's go on to the next topic. Big up Frosted Myth. I think you're in the lottery, but if not, I'll put you in there as well. We'll talk about Marcus Alonso for a little bit because he's come in the public eye for the last 20 minutes.
Oh, fuck.
He's spoken out on why he doesn't want to take the knee, and I understand the meaning behind it, but I also just
I don't
think
think
it kind of sends the wrong message, and it's kind of a bit, what's the word? Because he's saying he doesn't want to take the knee because he doesn't think it's doing anything more than spreading awareness, and I understand that. But if he wants to just go and point at the Say No to Racism badge instead, then it's the same meaning, but it's just a lot less visible, if that makes sense. So I don't
Maybe
really
he has knee
understand the
problems.
purpose of it. What?
Maybe he has knee problems.
Maybe he does have knee problems. That would answer a lot more questions. But I just really understand Marcus Alonso's logic
In more
on
ways
this.
than one,
Because,
unfortunately. For fuck's sake.
like, I know Zaha and Ivan Toney haven't done it, but at the very least, they both spoke
Brother
to their
is slow,
teammates
man.
before it happened. And Brentford, as a result of that, they don't take the knee as a team because that's their own message. Marcus Alonso hasn't spoken to any of their teammates. Players like Reece James, like Rudiger, like Romelu Lukaku, players who have suffered racial abuse in football games before. And this probably has a much bigger meaning to them as opposed to Marcus Alonso, who I don't think has suffered any racial abuse at football.
Before we start this, I want to know who on the panel thinks it's actually making a difference.
I think it spreads awareness, but I also
Is it
think
making a difference?
this is the
No,
thing.
listen.
I think more
Because
still
he
needs
said
to
it
be
doesn't
done.
do nothing.
Like,
I think more still needs to be
listen,
done,
man.
but it still gives you. There is still a purpose to it. It still spreads awareness.
I didn't say there wasn't a purpose.
I have no problem with what Alonso's doing because this is always happens over and over again. What needs to be fixed is the punishment. Once the punishment gets in effect, they just do all these campaigns and say, yeah, shake, stop the hate. It still happens. You need to punish these guys. That's how behaviors change. So it's like I really have no problem with what Alonso's doing.
Can I say something?
Go for it, brother.
The football is so international, and for me, is one of the biggest problem with everything that's going on, like with the racial thing and stuff. It's like it's hard to comprehend, for example, from people in Russia what's going on with people, with black people in America. You know what I'm saying? But you cannot force somebody to believe in something that they never felt. We never had the problem, as much racial problem with black people in Russia, for example. I can reply to you as
too cold. They're not there.
Well, now you're saying that black people can stand cold. You know what I'm saying? But
they say that's a
I don't know.
joke.
I don't know.
what you're saying.
Eto and William will have something different to say on that.
Yeah, Eto played in Russia. Anyway, so that's not the point. That's you threw me off the.
I know. I tried to do that.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is like, it's not something that we experience. For example, like, is it like I don't know, but I got a feeling that that's just my feeling. But more racial problems going on in the countries that actually did more damage to the black community before, like England, United States, Portugal, Spain. They the one that actually, like, I'm not gonna blame you, but those are the countries that kind of like made that thing racial problem, like slavery and all that. So those countries like should be more responsible, not the countries that around it, because we did not experience as a young generation, we didn't experience that kind of stuff. So when, for example, like it was in the newspapers, that's why Zenit players did not got on their knees when the Chelsea players, and I was like, why do they have to, like for me it's that the problem, because when you try to apply certain things to the all of us, to the all of a group, it doesn't make any effect. People feel the resistance.
I've arrived. I have a freaking hater in this.
But one thing I can say, it shouldn't be. I think black community should be telling what they expect to be happening. You know what I'm saying? Like when white people saying like, well, this is like Alonso came on the news and said, I'm not taking any. Why nobody made the big deal when Zaha did that? Zaha did not take a knee, and nobody was asking his question. You know what I'm saying? Why when it's a white person? You see what I'm saying?
That's what he said. That's what he said.
I think is nobody better to teach me how like what's the best to treat people. It's actual black people. You tell me. I did not experience.
I hear that, but the thing with Wilfred Zaha, I feel like it's already started the slippery slope, because now it's going to get to a phase where more players are like, I don't see the meaning behind it. But the meaning behind it is just simply awareness from the players. And I get that more still needs to be done. I understand that. But it still doesn't mean that the purpose of the knee itself is defunct or anything like that. It's still doing its job. It's just it's not doing anything more, and people want to see more. But that's why you have to press the FA more. And I feel like the players have a responsibility as the people on the pitch to be able to push.
I heard this should be punishment. I heard there should be punishment. What kind of punishment is it gonna like take? Because I can
Points
see this
deductions, stadium bans.
Okay.
Real shit.
Okay, look, Liverpool fan goes into Chelsea Stadium and start yelling at the last couple of games before the season closed.
Yeah, but it's easy to pick out what fan it is. Like, there are CCTV cameras all across the ground.
So
You can pick out the
He's
fan.
not gonna come
No,
he's
but you
not
can
gonna
pick
come
out
in
the
there.
fan, you can see their face, you can identify who it is, then you can check their social media and figure out what team they support. It's easy.
Again, you're talking about a very slippery slope, because then look, I'm talking from an American, and we like our privacy and our freedom. If you're going to start putting that in,
no, but it's already there. It's already there.
Yeah, I understand this is England, and they have you have less of the freedoms that we have here, but when if you're going to use this for this purpose, what's the next purpose you're going to use it for? What if they're having somebody's saying political stuff? Are you going to ban those people too? At a certain point, you have to understand that you can ban people all you want. You can pass all the laws you want, but it doesn't change what's in somebody's heart. You cannot legislate the person's heart. You have to.
You can legislate behavior. I don't agree with that.
You cannot legislate behavior.
Yes, you can. Whatever you think is what you think, right? But if you come into this stadium, you can't yell out anti-Semitic stuff. You can't yell out racist stuff. Or you're banned from every stadium.
That doesn't change the person.
It doesn't have to change the person. It changes for the players. The players don't want. Listen. The players. Lukaku doesn't want somebody who's yelling racist stuff at him to be in the stadium. Whether the person changes internally or not, that's their problem. But you can't watch football in this stadium.
But you didn't hear what I said. You cannot legislate what's in somebody's heart. You cannot change their heart with a law.
I hear you, but that's not the point. The point isn't legislating that. The point is not letting those people in to watch the game. If you're in, again, no one knows what people thinks or what's in their heart. We only know what you present. You can't come to a Chelsea game or a Liverpool game or a Manchester United game, any game, and start yelling racial slurs. You get banned. You have a lifetime ban from every stadium in the country, right? That changes everything.
So you're saying the goal of this is not to change people's thinking. It's to ban people from stadiums. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, for yelling racial slurs, you should be banned.
I feel like in this day and age, if that is your mentality, then yes, get rid.
Watch football on your TV. You have Jester, you have no right to watch Chelsea. Chelsea is a private club. You have no right. That's not your right.
You're missing the point.
So if you're being racist, I'm not.
You're missing.
Wait, Jester.
No. Jester, what are you saying then? Please go for it.
Okay. The point is, if your only goal with this campaign is to keep people from saying mean things inside the stadium, how is that stopping racism?
It's not stopping it. It's not going to stop it.
As a whole,
you can't just stop it like that.
That's not going to happen.
Football isn't going to stop people who have racist mindsets from having racist mindsets, but you take it away from the football grounds, where it used to be a lot more rife than it is now.
You do what you can in their sector.
Already have bylaws that say if you do that, you get banned.
Previously in football,
they don't affect it though. They don't put it in.
No, I'm saying aren't there already hate laws on the books in England?
Right?
There are, but like you need to be able to identify them.
Okay, but you already said the technology is there to identify them. The laws are already on the books. So again, are we saying that this campaign is just to keep it from the players and keep it from the stadiums, or is it to affect the society as a whole? What's the goal here?
It's to
because
keep
if the goal
it
is just to keep it from the
players.
You already have laws to do that. My thing is, then you cheapen the whole thing. If it's just, we don't want it in the stadium, but it's okay to do it outside.
I think
the players
can take on the society.
No, because if they were banned from going to football, they wouldn't be around the grounds in general.
But no, I mean what I'm saying is outside meaning the society as a whole. I think the players are doing this to raise awareness in the society as a whole, not just the football stadiums.
I do get what Jeff is
Hold
saying.
on. In the
I
50s,
always
in the
say, and
50s
again,
and
I do
60s,
want to
right?
say, guys, in the
The
comment
best,
section,
the best way to
respect the
deal with
panel.
something, yeah, is like punishing them, man.
No,
Like,
look,
like
I
taking
don't
time
agree with that. I just think
Yeah.
players want to be able to go to their place of work and not be racially abused. They're not expecting that to change what happens if they go to a gas station and somebody says something to them. They're not expecting the club or football to do anything about that. They're
Yeah.
expecting when they go to work that you can't yell racist slurs at them and you get away with it. Like
Guys, I
acting
told
like
you, call anyone
we're acting
racist
like
on the team that is
in the
something.
60s and
Society and
70s,
football is
hooliganism
completely
wasn't
different.
regular in football clubs. You used to get in fights. You used to throw bottles. All these things happen in stadiums, right? And you can't do that anymore, or you get banned.
Still
If you throw a
happens.
bottle at a player, you're gonna get banned.
That
Why
happens.
do you have
It
that? You can
happens.
do that. You can do that outside the club, but the rule is still there.
Look again.
No, if you get caught outside, it's public. It's not the football like fault. We're not paying a ban. This is what happened between Russian and English fans in the European Cup when we fought in France. When we were fighting English fans, they started the shit against us outside on purpose. So, and Russian got pissed and got inside. So we got banned from from FIFA. And English fan was like, got you, because they fought us outside. And we went on the inside and fought on the inside, and we got a ban because it's on the inside the stadium, and the FIFA is not responsible on the outside of the stadium. It's a two different things.
Does it change fighting? Does it mean that fans aren't gonna fight? No, it doesn't.
No,
but it means that you cannot fight in the stadium. Otherwise,
Okay,
you
great.
can't watch football here.
But I'm telling you right now, if you ask the players, they're not doing this just for what's happening inside the stadiums. They're trying to affect change on society.
Yeah.
That you don't understand that. I'm sorry. They're not just doing it about the stadiums. They're trying to have an overall conversation about it.
I get what you're saying, Jester. Listen. I get what he's saying. He's trying to spread awareness, but you can only affect the people who are watching the game and the people who are in the stadium. We can only control the realm of which we are in. So football fans.
Listen to what actual player said. Eto said it. Like, he wants lifetime bans. All these players want lifetime bans. When Balotelli was getting racially abused in Italy, that's what he was asking for. A banana was thrown at him. That fan
They do
never
it all
got a
the time
lifetime ban.
over there. They do. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you that you should ban people from the stadiums. I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm saying that they're trying to have a conversation. They're trying to use their platform to have a conversation as a whole, not just isolated to football. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree, but that doesn't mean they still don't want people who are
I
racially
thought that
abusing them.
live
I
ban
agree
is
what I'm
already
talking
in
about.
effect
That's what
if you
matters.
Scream. No, hold on a second. Is not the live ban if you scream racial thing from the stadium?
I don't even know if it is a live ban
already.
I don't even know if it is a live ban. I think it's a few
arrested a Chelsea fan. They arrested him.
Why are you ignoring the obvious thing? Social media is also a thing that they're trying to change, because that's also another major thing for players, guys. It's the fact of the matter is, it's not what they experience just on the pitch, it's outside of the pitch, man. Like, social media is crazy, and these social platforms are doing nothing about it. There's stuff that literally, look, let's put it this way. Your account can get banned within minutes or within hours, right? Fully banned, and you can never use that account again for copyright issues. Racism and all of that other stuff, guess what? Bring evidence, do this.
Like you talk about COVID.
And you have to go through all kinds of bullshit. The fact of the matter is, you in a way, you guys are right in terms of saying, like, the bigger point of this is to highlight the issue and is to actually create dialogue. The fact of the matter is, for me, taking the knee has never been about, changing the whole thing by action. It's always been about creating awareness and actually creating dialogue. These conversations, tell me if you think it used to happen regularly before it occurred. It used to happen when racism occurred. We'd be like, oh, that's disgusting. That's not great. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then bam, we move on the next week, guys. That's how simple it was. Whereas now there is constant dialogue about this, about why this needs to stop. There's ideas being thrown about by everyone. And in my eyes, the biggest thing is there's more of us actually having the discussion. It's not about just the people facing racism that need to have this discussion. It's anyone should be able to have this conversation, because in any way, shape, or form, we're all affected by it.
Starts with the parents and their kids.
I've met people, right? Let me put it this way to you. I'm on Twitter Spaces quite a lot, and we've had this conversation. And there's people, bro, that are of minority background, and they say racist shit, and I call them out on it just the same way I would call anybody else out of it. Because you know why? Us knowing how much that fucking hurts you, I don't want them to say it out loud. Why the fuck are you saying it out loud? In fact, more times than not, I'm more pissed off at them. The fact
because they're normalizing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
so
what are you doing?
For me, what I try to say to people is it's about creating dialogue. Because let's be frankly honest, when you're young, you're taught to do one thing. There are certain things that you just don't talk about, apparently. Politics, race, sex, whatever, all of that stuff. There's certain things that just tell you don't talk about it. So we're now talking about it, which means people will sometimes make mistakes in the way in which they air things. And in the comments, I saw a minute ago people saying something about Jester being a Trump supporter. I don't agree with that, guys. Jester is having a frank conversation with us. Let him actually vocalize what he's saying so we can understand his perspective and have an actual dialogue that brings about change. If we shut everyone down and start labeling them from the moment they say shit, honestly, this will not change. I promise you.
Exactly.
That's exactly
Bro,
true. It doesn't matter who.
This weren't meant to be a conversation where we all just be in a massive circle jerk and agree with everyone's opinions.
No,
like, there's going to be disagreements. But us having disagreements does not make anybody racist. And even on a thing in political things, like saying take politics out of football, I think is like the biggest load of BS I've ever heard, because like there always is politics in football. Liverpool always have their thing with the sun and everything that's happened in Hillsborough. Chelsea fans love chanting FDIRA every single week. James McClean gets hella abuse every time we get to Remembrance Day. People were booing the knee because it had something to do with Black Lives Matter. And then the FA had to physically come out and drop a statement saying that we're not taking the knee for Black Lives Matter. It's our own Say No to Racism initiative. Politics is in football. Whether people like to admit it, whether they like to agree with it or not, it's there. That's why I think this get politics out of football thing is just a bit of bullshit, because there's no way you can do that anyway. You have to address what's there head on.
One thing for me, you can't change the majority of society. You just can't. There's too many people to be on the same page. We are like 6 of us over here, and we cannot find the common ground. We're not even talking about the big stuff. We're talking about if Mount play good or not, and we're like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard. I think as a society, I'm trying to teach my kids that everybody, doesn't matter who they are.
Barry, you tell that to someone who's Irish, and then we'll see whether they think it's offensive or not.
You see what I'm saying? Like
that is offensive, bro.
Very offensive.
It's a start. It starts with the parents and their kids. It's how you raise your kids. If you raise your kids one way and gonna point them like, look, those are like bad people and those are bad people, you will find the kid growing up on the news. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is.
I want to follow up with this point. There's a movie that was done in I believe the 70s, 80s called The Boys from Brazil. Okay, and the concept behind this movie is Joseph Mengele has gone to Brazil and wanted to clone Hitler, right? And so he did that. He did a bunch of different boys. He cloned Hitler, but they didn't turn out to be Hitler right away. They had to go through the same life experiences as him. So when he grew up, he would be the same person. So the point of me saying that is racism is not inherent when you're born. You're not born racist. It's a learned trait.
100%.
So if you think that just by the mere fact of the color you're born, you're this or that, that's not true. Most of the time, and most of the things that we become would be is a learned trait. So you have to understand that starts, again, like Redneck said, at home. So a lot of these kids grew up around it, so they don't know any different. Yeah. Because that's what, if your parents are telling you this is the right way, then you're learning, and you live in a closed society maybe in a smaller town in the United States, where that's all you're around, how do you know any different? Right? And then, so again, it's a learned trait. It's a part of being in an echo chamber that doesn't allow you to think freely. So when you bring somebody in that allows you to see the other side of the thing.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman that during the heyday or towards the end of the power of the Klan in America, he was a blues singer named Daryl Davis. He would go in and talk to Klan members. And he was able to pull a lot of them out of the Klan because he talked to them, and they got to see things that they'd never been taught. Yeah. They understood. They got to understand that all the stuff that they had heard growing up was all BS. And until you have somebody to go in with the courage to go in and do some of those things, you can't change the heart. The Klan got destroyed because of RICO laws in America. That's great. You destroyed an organization. That doesn't change the person's heart. It takes somebody to go in and actually talk and have a dialogue with somebody without labeling them. He didn't go in and say, oh, let me show these racists. He went in and said, let me change their heart. And that was way more effective than anything you can ever do, is to sit down and have a dialogue with somebody and show them their errors and get them outside of that echo chamber that they've been living in. Yeah. So they can learn.
Well, when was that? When was that specifically?
I can't tell you. I think it was in the 70s.
I know what you're talking about.
The education and the understanding of race at this day and age is so easy to access, and it's so out there as well, that in my opinion, if you still have those sorts of mentalities, I do think it's more of a choice, and I think it's just, you can't change it.
Yeah, Daryl Davis is a very interesting story. I think Vice did a piece on him if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, he an incredible inspirational guy. This guy went into like the heart of the Southland and was like talking one-on-one with these KKK Grand Dragon guy. I mean, and these guys, a lot of them had never even spoken to a black guy in their life. So for him, it was like, I think he's got an insane number. I think of like something like over 100 KKK people that he actually like transformed them and flipped their lives to where they're no longer like they would give him like their robes and their capes, which he keeps as sort of like a keepsake. It's an interesting story of just kind of like one person. That's just one person affecting the lives of a lot of people just based off having conversations with them. Yeah, but I know the story Jester's speaking of. It's pretty interesting if you haven't heard of him to look him up. He's got some good stuff on it. Daryl Davis.
Daryl Davis. All right,
definitely check that out.
All right, yeah. So wait. So yeah. Someone made the point that American schools too, like they not even just American schools in general need to do a better job, because there's this person called Jane Elliott who is a white woman.
Oh yeah.
Who she does experiments where she goes, okay, those are blue eyes get, like, say one day those are blue eyes get preparation treatment and those are brown eyes don't, and they get treated badly, and they ask the kids how they feel, and the kids themselves said they feel like horrible, they feel disgusting, because there's something they can't control because they don't have black skin. So it's like you guys will never feel what we'll feel. You could kind of just understand. So, but when it's a trait that you have and it's happening to you, you can more direct correlate with another person. Say, like, for instance, we know how it feels to be racially treated and abused. So, like, say Asian hate is happening, we can understand and feel it because we know what it's like to like not have control over something and people hate you for it. So that stuff like that.
Are you from America or where are you from?
I live in America, but I'm Jamaican.
Oh. So actually, there are places in the world that people that look like me can go and get racist hate. So there's still places in this world where even white people can understand racism, because if you live there, you get the same type of abuse.
It's usually just wherever you're in the minority.
It's minority. Look, and if you're the minority, you're always gonna. doesn't matter what society you're in. If I mean, in China, they were sealing people into their homes because they looked differently, because they thought that certain people were going to be more affected by COVID. So they actually welded their doors shut. Okay, so
Jester, I'm from South Carolina, man. It's a South over here, believe me. And I'm Russian, and it's
I'm
kind
from
of
Texas, so.
Well, anyway, you have Austin. We don't have Austin. Anyway, my point is, like, I can see the tension between people, and I can see people saying stuff they shouldn't be saying. I will confront. I'm a confrontational person. I don't have a problem to tell the person, shut your mouth. He can't say it. And I think some people, if they hear somebody saying a bad thing, they will not confront him and saying, look, you have no business of saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people need to take other people hold responsible. If you're saying something, like, for example, the fans in the stadium, if you're a fan, Chelsea's fan, and you hear the person beside you saying some stupid stuff, I will start fist fighting him. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's a difficult. In my perspective is different with all this, because that puts responsibility on regular everyday people. Some people don't want to get into a fight. Maybe they can't get into a fight. Maybe they have a medical condition that if they get into a fight, you know what I mean. There's a lot of stuff going on, so it should be a legislation from the clubs. I don't have to say anything. I won't see you next week, right? Or I don't. I'm about regulating, and this is what. I don't see how this is a wild concept, because this is what we do as a society in general. You know what I mean? I don't want to get into the political idea of changing behavior or changing mindsets and all that, but behavior can be regulated. You know what I mean? There's certain places that you can't say certain things, you can't do certain things, you can think whatever you want. You can really, really, really hate me and want to come into my house and steal all my stuff, but you can't do it.
What
right?
do you mean?
You
Because
can't do it because there are
people
laws
don't break
against
in
it.
the house. People don't rob people. I mean, Reece
People do
James
rob
got
people, but there are
robbed.
consequences for that.
But that again,
When you don't have
we're talking
consequences,
about
right now there's no consequence. Right now there are no consequences for certain things that happen that have to do with racism. If there's no consequence
I
for it,
think
there's
in
no
UK
deterrent
is
for it.
actually
And
law.
all people are saying is change their behavior or change their mind. Do you know how long that takes? It took him how many years? And one guy, how many years? I know about all these.
Roman's been trying to change the anti-Semitism at Chelsea since he's joined us.
And our owner was a Jewish man, and we still have anti-Semitism at the.
It's not going anywhere.
And he's done
no chance.
And this is people understanding what he's done for Chelsea, right?
You're conflating two different ideas.
Using those words. That's the thing. They enjoy it
Because
of how much
conflating two things.
with it as well.
Yes, you can pass laws to keep people from doing it in public, but you can't change what they do in their private lives.
Yeah.
So you're actually not solving the issue. You're just making it go. No, you're not.
I completely disagree.
You haven't
Behavior is what matters. Behavior is what matters. We know everybody can feel whatever they want at their dinner table. That's fine. But you knowing that you cannot come to a football game, let's bring it back to football. You knowing you can't come to a football game and yell racial slurs, or you can't watch that game anymore, you're gonna stop doing that.
So have you actually solved the problem then? You
have solved the problem.
No,
we haven't solved the full problem. It's a science.
Football is never going to solve. Football is never going to solve the problem of racism.
Ground
Football doesn't create the problem of
for
racism.
racists. They really did, especially at Chelsea Football Club.
Yes.
Let me say something. Do you agree that sometimes people use racist things just to piss off people, not by actually?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the reason why you need the regular laws to be punished, so that be exterminated. You now will not change the core of a racism, but you will exterminate those specific things that people do. Use a racial thing just to wind somebody up, just to piss off. Not because they're racist, just because that's the part that needs to be exterminated to change the law. That I think that will be the target for them.
Well, I understand the case of education, but like, I feel like as a club, It's just you want to get people of that sort of mentality as far away from your fan base as possible.
Yeah, and that's issue number one, right? Issue number one is getting those people who are doing that out of the stadium, so that doesn't affect the enjoyment of everybody else in the stadium.
Yeah.
And I fully back that. The second issue is, then you have to have a larger conversation on, okay, did you just solve this from a public standpoint? You've not changed that person, and that's the difference. That's the difference from what I'm saying. At some point you have to get with these people and educate them on why they're wrong. And until that happens, it's always going to be there. You're always going to, it doesn't matter how many people you ban. There's always going to be somebody that takes that place and does it. Because
But the thing is, the Premier League
that's humanity for you.
But the thing is, you're right. You're right.
That's not. I don't think
But
that's
the Premier League can do
responsibility.
Yeah,
I don't think football
can't really do
can
that.
solve that. Football can do what football can, which is create a safe environment for players which is the product. That's what we're watching. Look at our team. We have so many black players on our team. You don't want them going into our stadium or any stadium feeling racially abused.
I agree.
You don't want that, and that's what I'm talking about. Now, I understand what you're saying in that doesn't solve the bigger issue, but football can never solve the bigger issue because the bigger issue was there before even Chelsea was made.
Oh,
And that's something.
I gotta get ready for work.
Take care, bro. Safe for jumping on.
Brother.
But that's the thing. Football's meant to be a place where everyone can come together. And that's why I'm thinking, if there are people who are coming in with those sorts of mindsets, they're not coming in to be together. They're coming in to separate themselves. If you go to Chelsea games, there's always these own little groups of fans and everything.
Oh, 100%.
Same thing. Yeah. Same thing in all grounds. So that's why I don't think there's unity like that. There's only unity when they're chanting for their club, and that's it.
Yeah.
But even then, there's groups of fans who hate other groups of fans and shit like that. It always happens.
Can I just make a point though, guys? Like when it comes to subjects like this, and we're basically talking about ignorance, but ignorance is like complex in itself. In terms of like, Louis, you alluded to it earlier on. There's ignorance by choice, and there's ignorance because there's a lack of opportunity for people to meet people different to them. Therefore, they're able to actually learn through actual like interaction what it's like to be those people, what is how you interact with them properly, how you do it respectfully, how you actually understand their values, etc. Now, I'm not going to say to you and try and make any excuses for people, but what I'm saying to you is that there are certain people that are easily manipulated due to the lack of those opportunities. They're manipulated with stereotypes, and they see the media, they see all this other stuff, and it convinces them of an idea of what these types of people are like, what sort of things are acceptable to say to them or say about them. Because unfortunately, the thing is, we were trying to say that we need to actually regulate people. As much as we need to regulate people, I believe the people at the top, the people with influence, need to be regulated themselves. And because they're not regulated, how can we expect those people to be regulated? It doesn't make sense, because that's where that biggest annoyance is. They're the ones creating the agendas, the propagandas that unfortunately leads to people being divided. And it's how you obviously stay over the top of them, because if you divide them and turn them against each other, it's easier to convince them of saying that guy is your enemy, he's stealing your jobs. That guy is your enemy, he's the one causing all your issues and misfortunes. That's why these things happen in my eyes, is that when you divide it up to that, there's people that I'll be honest, the people that want to be ignorant by choice, even though they know better that racism and all of this stuff is not the way, right? If they choose that's their way, cool. I don't even need to interact with you. If that's how you choose to live life, I'm not even worried about those people. The ones that I really want to have a conversation with is the ones that have had the lack of opportunity, and the ones that, because of their misfortune, have been convinced of bullshit. Those are the ones that I'd rather actually empathize with, because we have far more in common than they realize. And until we have a conversation, they will never know. And the only reason I know this myself is because I traveled outside of London doing a job and seeing how the rest of the UK is. And it's shit, man. It is shit, some of the hands that some of these people have been given. And that's why it's so easy to convince them of shit mindsets that unfortunately are not right. But when you look and put yourself in their shoes, can you say that maybe you wouldn't have turned out the same way if you were in their shoes? And honestly speaking, with the perspective I have right now, if I was the lacking in some of the experiences I had, I couldn't say to you confidently that I wouldn't have ignorance tendencies where I would start saying racist bullshit, whether intentional or unintentional doesn't really matter. I would do it because unfortunately I'm being convinced that that's the reason why my misfortunes exist, if that makes sense. So generally speaking, I just don't want people to be grouped together. When these discussions happen, it's easy to call people names and start saying bullshit at their face. But guys, remember, if they're willing to have a conversation, that in itself is a massive deal. There's people that don't want to even entertain these conversations because to them it's uncomfortable. But it's meant to be uncomfortable. So to me, I respect anyone that even tries.
The societies, the people that we're supposed to be trusted with society, sometimes those people are actually divide us. The people in charge of us.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? They're the ones that makes us separate. They're the ones that makes us go against each other. And we are trusted those people to change the society when we voted for them and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's such a big mess. It's not even funny. It's a big mess.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah,
I just want to go quickly to. Go on, Lewis. No, go on. You read that chat.
I was going to say, Scotty says the knee gesture encourages us to respectfully dialogue with each other. Every kid can only learn from our best behaviors, beliefs, and values. And that's the thing about the knee, which is why I don't get players saying that they don't want to do it anymore, because it just spreads awareness. That serves its purpose, and it can't do any more than that. But it still serves the purpose it's intended to do. More still needs to be done, but it does the job that's asked of it. That's why I don't get complaints about it.
I definitely agree with that comment as well. And coming from someone obviously who hasn't, I've experienced a little bit, not too much. Obviously, Australia here, we're not as racist as we used to be. We're learning from it a lot, and I'm really glad our country is doing that. But I think Marcus Alonso, I agree that the knee it's a fantastic gesture. But I think if nothing is doing it, and we've been saying this for the last tournament, but if nothing's doing it on the side, it's just like. It's just I'm more of a business model, and when I talk about stuff, I always like to go to the business side. And I think they're pretending to do something where in the background they're not really working. So if nothing's happening in the background, why are they going to keep portraying this knee badge? Maybe finding it, or maybe Alonso maybe speaking to the teams beforehand should have been done. But I think he has his right to not do it at the end of the day.
Yeah, obviously he does have the right not to do it. I just think he should have at the very least spoken to some of the other players in his squad. I feel like him just making this decision by himself when you're in a team sport doing it with other players of your squad of different orientations as well, I don't really know. Plus, with me, the fact he's just pointing at a badge instead and saying he wants to send the message that way doesn't really make much of a difference. You're doing the exact same thing, except it's a lot less visual. You can clearly see someone getting down on one knee.
Lewandowski confronted his fans.
Yeah.
He confronted them. He went to his own fans and stood and pointed to that. That is way more powerful than just the knee.
Who, Alonso?
No, Lewandowski.
Oh, yeah.
You said about the badge. I'm saying like Lewandowski confronted his own fans. He had the balls to do it. He went to the players that actually booed England and he pointed to the badge. That was powerful from
and Zach, that's what we need to see
more. Confronting, but I'm not like when I said the fight with young fans.
Can I ask
what I meant? Yeah.
Can I ask?
One second. I do need to go into super chat because I'm just talking down a racist makes you know better than the racist. Huh?
Yeah, no.
What?
I'm lost.
Yeah, bro, you lost me on that one. Love and understanding.
That sounds like justification.
Back on track.
Yeah,
I can't lie. That is just very, very wishful, bro. I really wish the world was that easy. We'd all be holding hands together and singing along in a circle like everything's beautiful. But that's not the way the world is, bro. Talking down a racist makes you know better than the race. I can't lie. Appreciate the donation, but that is a wild ass sentence, my guy. I can't lie to you, bro.
So Redneck, what I was going to say to you was, I actually agree. Like, I do think what Lewandowski did there was powerful, but why does it have to be more powerful, or less powerful than another act? Why can't it all just be in combination? Do you see what I mean? Like, and this is the thing that
I think uniformity is a big thing, especially when you're in a team. Right. It's if the entire team said, you know what, we're not doing the knee anymore. We're instead going to do this other thing as a group to fight racism. Cool. That's what you guys want to do. I'm cool with that. But you're doing it as an actual team. You can all stand. But if the whole team is kneeling down and you want to stand up and have your own gesture, just makes you look like a dickhead. Like there's no point in you doing that. Just kneel with your freaking team. It's for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not that long. You
But
know what I
I
mean?
don't
Like
think he's behind that message though. That's why he wouldn't do it. But I do. If Alonso got that captain badge as well, that's the one thing that's really annoying as well. He got that captain badge. He was trusted by Tuchel, and then he goes off and individually despises himself from all the other team events. And I agree that he should have spoke to the team. Maybe he did. Maybe he did speak to the team. Maybe they accepted him. We
Alonso, he
don't know.
He already
Oh, he
said
didn't.
didn't.
Look,
He
I
said
don't think. Look, I don't want him to take the knee if he doesn't want to take the knee. That I
Yeah.
have no problem with. However, for him to suggest that he's going to point at things to actually try and say that he isn't like that's not the point. You've totally missed the
no,
point.
but
And
look,
that's
Mo, that I do have a problem with. There are a whole bunch of gestures that the club does every year with all the
I
players,
agree.
and I'm sure not every player agrees with. Right? They all wear the bands when they have to wear the bands. Right? They all
Yeah,
wear the poppies when they have to wear the poppies.
yeah,
Right? And there's some who probably have been coming from war-torn countries and don't believe in military and all that. They all still do it. So
yeah.
it's like, what? Tell me why you can't take a knee with your entire team when everybody else is for 20 seconds. Also, if he can express himself, then we're gonna have in the future players saying, "I'm not wearing the poppy,"
So
and you
Daniel,
can't tell them no.
so
You
I
can't say
think
you have to wear the poppy.
I think you make a
I
valid
think you
point there,
can.
but
I
there's
think
one
some
issue.
players did actually.
No,
There's been a point.
so
There's been a point
No,
with
I remember.
players.
Yeah, I remember that was something, and they got so much pushback.
no,
Well, they got the pushback, but you
Daniel,
didn't do nothing about. Like you can't do nothing about it. Though.
Daniel,
what
I
I'm
actually
saying.
agree with your point. Like you make a valid point, and I honestly wasn't looking at it like that. But this is where the pushback now is. With those other gestures that people have to do, right? They tend to do it for one game. This is going on like continuously. It's a continuous thing that's being done, and that's the pushback people have. Is why is it constantly being done? But they're just not understanding that this is a problem that is actually a major society issue that really needs highlighting in a big way because it's affecting a lot of people that are just being ignored. It's affecting people that they play with. It's affecting people that they look after them. It's affecting so many people. But the fact of the matter is, because they have not experienced it, they're just finding it difficult to understand why we think it's important for us. And to me, I don't want to punish them for that. I'd rather create a dialogue to make them understand, because if he's doing that, to me, that lets me know that he's actually not understanding our point. You get what I mean? And I'd rather actually have that dialogue with him and tell him, actually, here's why we're that strong about it. And I don't know if it has happened or not, but regardless, I'm not saying to this guy, you can't actually refuse to take the knee. I'd rather him refuse and let me know why he's refusing and then challenge it if I need to challenge it. You get what I mean? But
No, I get what you mean. It's not. I'm not even coming from a place of I'm labeling him or anything. I'm coming from a place of team chemistry. That's where I'm coming from.
You're
Right?
right.
Because you're
And
saying
I
all these conversations. He can have all those conversations. He has, Lukaku in his team, Rudiger in his team. All these guys he can have the conversations with if he wants to have them. That's not what I'm really talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's about the uniformity of a team
Yeah,
that you have that conversation with. And when you're, unless you feel so strongly that you're doing something else, right? Either you feel there's no problem. If he's saying there's no problem, then I have a problem with him. Or if he's saying this is the way I want to attack this problem, then say that. But his other option was pointing to the Say No to Racism badge, which to me is the exact same thing. It's symbolism. So to me, it's like from the evidence that I've seen, it's like just it doesn't make sense. I don't
Maybe
agree
he
with
does have a bad knees, like Louis said.
that. I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
Big up per
Just
Eric
coming
Klassen
from
saying sending a super chat to support you, but I don't want to take part in the lottery. Don't like that shirt, United supporter. You're still going in the lottery anyway. But
we
big up yourself
send
for the
you the
donation,
shirt.
my G. Sorry,
you the
man.
shirt
Ryan got
anyway.
put in there anyway, so you're still in with a chance to win this beautiful shirt. So big up
I
yourself.
just want people to understand I'm not married to this knee. If the entire playing staff said we're not doing the knee anymore, I'm cool with it. That's what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
But you have 10 players kneeling for the knee and Alonso standing up pointing to his badge. Why?
And the thing is, we didn't even know it before because I saw in the Aston Villa game that he didn't do it either. And and we had no awareness to it. So I was just sitting there like, huh? Alonso, wagwan for you. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
But
it
I
doesn't
just
make
let it
sense.
go over my head.
Honestly, from the moment Zaha
And
did
he's
it,
a player. Just remembering him walking on the team bus halftime after being subbed. Listen, just team chemistry and being a team player is a big deal. And you have the captaincy. You have to act differently. At least have the conversation
mm,
with your with the rest of your
Mm.
players and give them a valid reason as to why you're not doing this anymore. You're doing something else, right? Like if you're not doing that,
mm,
then this just seems like you're trying to create a division in the team, which we haven't heard yet. But who
mm.
knows when we're gonna hear it?
Look,
Who knows what Lukaku's gonna say to him,
no,
right?
but
Like we don't
when
know.
Maybe the players don't really,
Or Rudiger.
mind if he doesn't do that. Yeah, Rudiger's one of them. I
Believe
don't
me,
think they really mind because I think they would have said something.
If Alonso said something that Rudiger didn't like, Rudiger will kind of tell him. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
he will tell him
yeah.
straight in the face. And
but
I
like
think Tuchel will start after that if he had a problem.
Individualism when
I
it
know,
comes to
but like
something
he's
like that
done it for
doesn't.
weeks without speaking to the players about it. He said he hasn't spoken to them. And that was in an interview that just came
That's
out
what he said.
yesterday.
Okay, if that's what he said, then that changes the perspective of the conversation for me because I didn't realize
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
what,
no,
was
he did an
that was the
interview for
perspective
the
I was
Daily
coming
Mail
with. Like,
yesterday, and he said he hasn't spoken. I can get the direct quotes up here. 1 second. The direct quotes were. He said, "No, we haven't spoken about it. We're in the changing room and we are a family. I have a very good relationship with everyone. I love everyone, and up to now, we haven't talked about it. I don't think there's a need to, but of course, if I have to speak to anyone, I will say the same thing I just told you, and I don't think there'll be any problems." And he said, "For now, I just prefer to point to the sleeve, and that's what I will do." That was his direct quotes. Ashwin says unity and diversity has to be taught in school level. Definitely agree with that as well. But like schools are heavily biased, which is why you never get the full scope of everything. Like, for example, if you talk about the slave trade, the UK, when I was in school, we never heard about the UK slave trade. We always got taught about the US slave trade.
Yeah.
And then if you want to talk about the IRA and stuff, we don't even know about English history when it comes to everything with the IRA, which is why it's so biased towards England, which is why the IRA gets so much heavy abuse. But the IRA was there to protect the Irish, the same way the English army was there to protect the English. It goes one way and the other way. So that's why it's offensive for you to go after the IRA towards people from Ireland. Big up Daniel, who I'm gonna leave a bit. Yeah, I can't. I can't even pronounce it. I'm
brother,
sorry.
you could have done us a favor, man. Oh man, I feel
Yes,
bad.
I appreciate the donation, Daniel. Much love as always, and you are in the lottery anyway. But I haven't got a clue what you just said. I'm sorry, bro. But big up yourself anyway, my G. Anyone got any other thoughts they want to drop before we end the stream? Because this has been a very good discussion. I have enjoyed hearing everyone's thoughts.
My final point is actually what Rafi's saying in the comments, and it's literally like to think that football can't solve some of these things. It can, man. It can. Like the fact of the matter is, it has a major influence on more than people realize, and it's the fact of the matter is that's why it's even more important that it happens, because there are certain things that is happening in society. Honestly speaking, we're far too divided in society as it is for us to be able to have these dialogues. Football is one of the things that actually brings us together and does it what the way it does it. And unfortunately, we just don't get the opportunities. Zaha spoke to his team and did a public statement qualifying his decision not to knee prior to not kneeing. Alonso didn't do it.
Alonso just stopped doing it.
Yeah,
literally just stopped doing it and just said, "Yeah, I'm here."
But if the team had a problem, they would have said something to him. So I
we
don't
don't
think
know
that
if they had a problem yet. Like, because we're not hearing.
But I think
and thankfully, we're not hearing everything that's coming out of the dressing room. But we don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know this. We didn't know that there was a problem, and with the young players and this players till it came out like 6 months later.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, no one here is calling Marcos Alonso racist. No one's saying anything like that. I just think it comes across
definitely not, man.
Bit inconsiderate, and if that's the word for it, or maybe just ignorant, slightly ignorant. That's the
Plus
word.
getting that arm badge
it's crazy.
just
It could really just be what Redneck Blue was saying. Oh, his knee's freaking hurt, so he's saying, I'm gonna just stand. It could be just a dickhead thing, just like that. My knee hurts, so I'm not doing it.
I
just
get
seems
that,
like that
but
type
then
of
that
guy.
would be the case
Like-
for one game, but that wouldn't be the case for multiple. Like, we've seen it happen at Villa, we've seen it happen at Tottenham. Now we'll probably see it at Man City too.
I hope people know
He said
that
he's going to keep doing it for the rest of the season as well.
I hope people know that my name Redneck Blue is just sarcastic think about me from South Carolina as a Russian, because I think some of them.
I
some
don't
of
think
them feel-
anyone's inferring anything by the name. If that's what you're worried about, no one is. And
I
if they
remember
are,
because
that's more on them
I
for just
remember
generalizing.
in
We know
college.
you,
I remember in college, my teacher used to like telling me say something in English, but in a southern accent and stuff like that, because we want to make fun of me and my accent. But he's like, you speak like a Schwarzenegger.
I think so.
It's not ignorant from Zaha because he was clear about his intentions from the start before he even started doing it, and he spoke to his entire team about it.
Yeah.
Alonso just went and did his own thing. That's why I think it's slightly the biggest worrying part for me is that he didn't speak to any of the players, and he didn't get their perspective on it because it's a team sport. You're going out there as a team. You're making a statement as a team.
Yeah.
But I'm still saying no one's calling Alonso racist. Nobody is
There's no
saying
way.
that.
I'm not calling him that. That's not the point.
Nobody's saying that.
The point is, look, to me, what this highlighted is I don't think he particularly understands exactly why we're doing it in the way in which we're doing it and what it actually means to us. That's all it's highlighted to me. If anything, that's the dialogue that needs to be had as a result of this, and it's not to call him and label him. Guys, I said this before. If this dialogue is to happen as a healthy and respectful manner, we need to stop labeling people so quickly, because we are just going to actually turn away anyone that wants to listen and be an ally and be part of the conversation. We're going to make them uncomfortable, and they're going to go away from the conversation because we're labeling them things that they are not. Their action clearly show it. Do you see what I mean? So to me, he's taken a decision not to take it for his own reasons, and he thinks that what he's doing is more effective. Unfortunately, I have a difference of an opinion, and that's where the dialogue needs to happen. Because I feel like all of this stuff that he's saying that we should be pointing at has existed before, maybe under different labels and stuff, and they did nothing. All they did was highlight the issue when something occurred, and then we moved past it. So to me, it did nothing. As far as I'm concerned, it was useless. It was pointless. To him, for some reason, he thinks it was fine. I don't think it's fine, and it needs to be challenged. That's all I'm seeing here. And the fact of the matter is, if we're having these types of conversations, please, guys, I'm talking mainly to people in the comments, really. It's just try and not label people, man. Honestly, just have a conversation. Actually have the dialogue. Try to understand the other perspective, because more times than not, you'll find that that dialogue can actually change a lot in their mindset too.
And a little history. Everybody came from Africa. Adam and Eve was Africans.
Oh yeah. I've heard they came from East Africa. I think that's where the Garden of Eden was meant to be originated from. Sassy says, "What will happen if Lukaku gets a long-term injury?"
Oh, God, please don't make me think about that. Oh, dear Lord.
Want to think about
Why are we putting this in the air?
Oh God.
Yeah, that's why, like, Wilfred Zaha's
We
been
will
through
just
those
win the
things before,
championship
so he
league.
gets
That's
to
what
have
will
a bigger
happen.
say on it.
We will only win championship league if that happens. We will not win the Premier League. That's what we did
If
last
we
year.
lose Lukaku for a big run in the season, then we're fucked. People are asking for the lineup. We already went through the lineup. I'll state it again, and we went for Kepa in goal, Lewis Baker, Chalobah, and Malang Sarr as the back three, Saul and potentially Ruben as the pivot, Reece James, Ben Chilwell, Timo Werner, Hakim Ziyech, Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left-hand side. That was our starting lineup. But yeah, guys, we are going to end the stream here. It has been a very, very good discussion with everyone. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope it's been a bit educational as well. But we will be back on Thursday, I think. I don't know if we're streaming tomorrow. I don't think there'll be anything to really talk about unless there's any big news. If there's big news, we'll do an emergency stream. If not, we'll be back on Thursday. But until then,
unexpected trauma.
What was that?
What if Alonso get unexpected trauma on the practice?
Oh, fucking hell. Maybe the discussions didn't work out so well. But yeah, big up everyone that's locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button. Head over to Lawrence's channel as well. Just let him know that I sent you over there. They're having the same sorts of discussion as well if you guys want to keep watching the Chelsea content. And take care, like and subscribe. And as always,